Saqib, how would you assess the level of knowledge about diabetes in Georgia? How to manage the disease and how to protect ourselves from it?
Yes. So first of all, diabetes is a disease which is very rapidly progressing throughout the world. And it's the greatest challenges of this century. So the biggest problem we have with diabetes is it doesn't give any symptom. It's one of the silent killers. So therefore, we need to spread awareness, not just amongst the doctors, but also the general public about certain signs and symptoms of diabetes. If they have got predisposition, like they have family members who have diabetes, if they have got a poor lifestyle, if they have obesity, to have at least their blood sugar checked once a year, because early diagnosis saves life and prevention is better than cure. So we know that one person dies every 6 seconds across the globe with cardiovascular related diseases which happen in diabetes, and one lower limb is amputated every 30 seconds across the world. So it's a very dangerous disease if it's not treated aggressively and early. So the emphasis that we need to provide to the family doctors here is to do screening, to do more checks on those patients who are at risk, so that we can save people's life, improve the quality of life of these people, and also advise them to change their lifestyles, spread awareness. And we need media's help and also campaigns in the government to have posters put in the high street so people know about this condition, because it's not very easy to diagnose, because often the diagnosis is missed for many years. And the first time a person will know is when they have a heart attack and they go into hospital, and people will ask them, oh, how long you've been diabetic? And then they will say, I didn't know that. So that's the fact that we are facing. And also, what we need to bring in Georgia is what we're doing across the world. And I'm quite happy and pleased that we are almost there in Georgia. The standards are very good, but they need to improve a little bit more, and to provide the new treatments which are now available, which protect the heart and the kidneys, which is the major issue with diabetes.
The global situation regarding diabetes.
Although we have all these new medication, new technology, the biggest problem is that the doctors themselves don't take this disease very seriously, and there is a challenge about giving the right treatment at the right time. So often the treatment is initiated very late, when we see already the complications have happened, and every single complication of diabetes is totally preventable. And the key to success is early diagnosis, firstly to prevent the diabetes, but if it is already happened, then you diagnose it early and get the control very early, and also give them the right medication at the right time. So situation still is not very good across the world, but it's much better compared to the last decade, and that's happened only because of the newer generation of medications which are available. They are a little bit expensive, but what we need to emphasize across the globe is to invest money in prevention rather than cure, because cure is always going to be more expensive than prevention. But what happens in the real world is we forget about preventing the disease, and we wait till the complications happen, disease established, then we put in 10 times more money into treating these complications, heart attack, strokes, having bypass, kidney failure. So all of this can be prevented by about 1/10 of the money that the governments should spend in their countries, including Georgia, to stop this happening, to progress. And the key to success is the recognition. Recognize that diabetes is a very serious condition. It's the #1 killer, and I say it's a silent killer. The reason the patients don't take notice of it, and some doctors, is they don't see this happening slowly. Like in cancer, you know that there is a growth, you have to cut it out. This goes silently without any symptom, and until it is very late. As I said, when I used to be in hospital, I used to have people having a stroke and a heart attack, and I used to go and take history. How long have you been diabetic? And the first thing they said, I didn't know that, doctor, that I was diabetic. So the only thing that we can do is to have a good system in the primary care, where the patients who are at risk should be tested, and there should be a mandatory kind of regime that people who are at risk, they have family members with diabetes, they have obesity, they should have once a year blood test. If we can do that, that will change lives of the people across the world.
The biggest challenges faced by people living with diabetes.
The biggest challenge is the weight, because once these people gain weight, they cannot lose weight. And all the doctors and everybody blame it on the patient, that it's your fault, you're not doing hard enough. But the weight is actually a chronic disease itself. We have recognized across the world that obesity is not a lifestyle thing. It is a chronic disease, and it needs to be managed like any other disease. And that message has not gone across through the doctors and also the patients. If we offer patients that you have this medication or injection to lose weight. They question it, they're not too sure, and then there is some negative publicity in the media about wrong things. But these new drugs, they are life-changing drugs. We now use it for life prolonging. They are like in the longevity clinics, but these need to be given by the right expert, and the correct treatment should be given. That's the challenge, that obesity has not been tackled at all across the world. But the main root cause of obesity and why we are heading this way is our lifestyles have changed. What we used to do 20 years ago, everybody is now consuming ultra processed foods. So the governments need to put labels on the food, red, green and amber. So red is the one that you should least try, that like processed foods, which they are very harmful for you, they are very addictive, and they cause increase in obesity and diabetes. So therefore we need to make awareness across the whole community that these are the foods which are not very good for you. We need to go back to our grandmothers and our home cooked food, more healthy options. That will be the prevention. But obesity is the biggest challenge, and that's the #1 cause leading to all these people becoming diabetic. If we can manage and contain the obesity problem, diabetes will settle down. And again, if we manage to give these people new drugs, we see that within 6 months they go into remission, which means diabetes comes to a standstill. So if we change the focus from sugar, because people had different concept that diabetes is only sugar disease, it's not sugar disease, it's a vascular disease. So it affects the liver, kidneys and the heart. So if we can focus on these things instead of focusing just on sugar, we will have some very good outcomes, and we will save people's lives and also change the outlook of the world. But it's very difficult because we're in this advanced technology. Everything that we used to do 20 years ago, we don't do that. Kids have got all these technology rather than playing sports in the playground. So that's going to lead to real disaster in the next few decades, and it is estimated that the global population of diabetes will be exponential. It is the fastest growing non-infectious disease in the world, fastest growing, and every day there are people, 1 in 10 people across in the UK have got diabetes. And the biggest problem now is undiagnosed diabetics. So there are about 250 million people across the world, 250 million, who have got diabetes, but they don't know. And the only day they will know is when they either get a heart attack, and if they're lucky, they will be surviving, or they might die. So that's my really message, is to spread awareness, again, education, not just amongst the community, but also amongst the doctors, to improve the situation here, because we will be facing a very great problem in the years to come.
Thank you so much.